Why, hello there. My name is Austin Arnold, and I am doing my backtesting project. In this project, I am testing whether or not the turnover ratio for mutual funds has any significant impact on the returns and the 12-month yield. The data I collected is 110 mutual funds with turnover ratios that are less than 25% and mutual funds with turnover ratios greater than 25%. 220 mutual funds total. Before we begin, let's define a few terms. Let's define turnover rate, 1-year return, 3-year return, and the 12-month yield. The turnover rate typically measures the replacement of holdings in a mutual fund and is commonly presented to investors as a percentage over a 1-year period. A 1-year return is defined as the percentage change in an investment over a 1-year period. Likewise, a 3-year return is the percentage change in an investment over a 3-year period. Finally, the 12-month yield is the sum of a fund's total trailing 12-month interest and dividend payments divided by the last month's ending share price, plus any capital gains distributed over that same period. It gives a good idea of the yield, interest, and dividend payments. Alright, for the 3-year return, we're going to do the same thing. Our variable 1 range will be turnover is greater. We'll be consistent here. Variable 1 will be turnover is greater. And our variable 2 will be turnover ratio is less than 25% for the 3-year return. Sure, that's right. And our hypothesized mean difference is still 0, so that means the null hypothesis is that there is no difference in the average return given the two sets of data. And we're going to have labels again, so we have that selected. And our confidence interval is still 0.05%. Hit OK. Alright, so this is what we have here. As I said before, we're looking at the two-tailed test, given that we're trying to say the hypothesized mean difference is 0. So we're going to bold this again. And I would like to point out, as I did for the previous one, the p-value for the two-tailed test is greater than the confidence interval of 0.05. Therefore, we cannot reject the null hypothesis that the difference of the means is 0. Since we cannot reject the null hypothesis at the 1-year level and at the 3-year level, we must not reject the null hypothesis that the mean difference between mutual funds with turnover ratios greater than 25% and mutual funds with turnover ratios below 25% are 0. Thank you, and this concludes my backtesting strategy. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. We are going to do a 2-sample t-test assuming unequal variances. First, let's select our data. The first set of data we're going to select is on the turnover ratio greater than 25% tab, and we're going to highlight the 1-year return for this. Go a little faster. There we go. Alright, the second variable range is going to be on the turnover ratio is less than 25% tab, and we're also going to select the 1-year return. Here we go. Hit OK there. And our null hypothesis is going to be that the mean of these two returns data set, the 1-year return of these two data sets, the mean of those are going to be 0. As you can see, we have labels selected, and our confidence interval is at 0.05. We're going to hit OK. Alright, let's see what we're looking at. Since we're doing a two-tailed test, we're going to look at these two more importantly. Let's bold those and bold these two. What this means is, since that the p-value for the two-tailed test is much higher than the confidence interval of 0.05, we cannot reject the null hypothesis that the mean of the returns are different.